Thanks, Suzanne. That was great, everybody. And we will make this quick because I've got a couple deep dish pizzas on the way. Um,
Uh,
so
funny.
let's see. The questions that kind of struck me most. You know what? First of all, I see a lot of talk specifically about UCAN going back and forth, and without without the time to answer them all, Varam, why don't we just refer everybody to you, and they'll get in touch with you via your website, and they can ask as many questions as they want, guys. Any questions specifically about UCAN, get in touch with Varam, and he can give his website when he tells about his offer. But a few questions that struck me. One comes from Danielle. Danielle Braufron. I'm sorry if I mispronounced anybody's name. Are there any these are up for grabs to any of the panelists, any protein suggestions, especially snacks for gluten and dairy-free diet, and for somebody who's really struggling to get away from carb bars and fruit?
I mean, if
One
you go
of the
to
things that
go ahead, Anne-Marie.
Okay, I was gonna say one of my go-to snacks is hard-boiled eggs, and I also like celery sticks with almond butter. I think that's a good way to balance out some carbs, protein, and fat. Olives are another good snack. You said no dairy, so no yogurt. Those are probably the top ones I would recommend. Would be hard-boiled eggs and then celery sticks with almond butter.
Perfect.
Okay.
I would add nuts, almonds, peanuts. I also like the combination, and some people look at me weird, but peanut butter or any type of nut butter mixed with chocolate coconut butter. Phenomenal combination of protein and fat. Have a little bit of carbohydrate in the coconut butter and the nut butter. So that itself is a great protein source, carbohydrate and fat. That balances blood sugar and supports metabolic efficiency.
Okay, thanks, Bob. I think we're going to try to get a segment right into Fox and get a segment for Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen. You know what is something that's interesting to me, and this is because I happen to have met the gentleman, one of the principals working on this campaign, the chocolate milk campaign, Johnny Trisport. I don't know if that's I don't know if he has anything to do with you, Seton, or it just happens to be Trisport as a coincidence. He says, can you tell me a little bit about this recent craze that chocolate milk is now the end-all and be-all, hyped-up post-workout race recovery fuel? That's a question. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I'll take a stab at that, and maybe Jeff or Bob has a thought. The thing about chocolate milk is that there have been some studies out there that looked at recovery fuels and the carbohydrate to protein ratio, very controlled in these studies, and it showed that when people used a 4-to-1 carbohydrate to protein ratio as a recovery fuel, there was less muscle damage the day after. I'm not sure if they did 4 hours, 8 hours, and the day after, but there are blood markers of muscle damage from a workout. So the studies that I'm familiar with, they tested these specific products, measured the blood, and the people who were using these 4-to-1 carb to protein ratio drinks had less markers of muscle damage, suggesting that it is better for recovery than not having that sort of mix. So that's where that comes from. Chocolate milk does have that 4-to-1 protein to carb ratio. It also has a lot of sugars in it, and depending on whether you're doing regular milk or low-fat milk, those factors can be different. You can get the same 4-to-1 carb to protein combination by using whole foods. Maybe Bob or Jeff has some comments about that.
I actually have a quick comment about chocolate milk, if you don't mind, real quick. So chocolate milk, we know, I echo exactly what Suzanne said. I would also add that works really well with carbohydrate addicts, and by that I mean those following very high carbohydrate diets, because they're burning so many carbohydrates throughout the exercise, they need all that sugar afterwards. With more metabolically efficient athletes, more fat-adapted athletes, they actually need something just like real food, less carbohydrates, something like a Generation UCAN if you're going to use a sport nutrition product, because once you teach your body to become more able to burn fat, you need less sugar. So I think you need to qualify that. It's not downplaying chocolate milk, but it's upplaying the effect that maybe that person isn't as metabolically efficient as they should be.